I never thought a baby shower could be the moment that changed my entire family forever. But that afternoon, surrounded by pastel balloons, fake smiles, and whispered judgments, I realized something was deeply wrong. My name is Margaret. I'm 62 years old. I raised my son alone after his father passed away. Every sacrifice I made, every overtime shift, every missed vacation, it was all for him. When my son married Laura, I tried my best to welcome her. She was polished, confident, always smiling in public, the kind of woman people instantly liked, or pretended to. When Laura announced her pregnancy, I was genuinely happy. I spent weeks choosing a gift for the baby shower. Not something cheap, not something symbolic. I bought a handcrafted silver bracelet with the baby's name engraved, along with a savings bond meant to grow with the child. Something meaningful, something lasting. I wrapped it carefully. I imagined Laura smiling, thanking me. I imagined my son proud. The baby shower was hosted at Laura's mother's house. Big, loud, perfectly staged for social media. I arrived early, gift in hand. Heart hopeful, Laura greeted me with a quick hug. Cold, polite, distant. "Put your gift on the table," she said. "We'll open everything later." I did as told. As the party went on, I noticed something strange. Laura kept pulling out gifts one by one, but not in the usual way. She would open a box, smile briefly, then turn to someone else and say things like, "Oh, this would actually be perfect for you." Or, "You just had a baby last year. Take this instead." At first I thought she was joking. Then I saw it. She picked up my gift. The silver bracelet. The envelope. She didn't even read the card. She smiled at her cousin and said, loud enough for everyone to hear, "Oh, this is way too classy for a baby. You should have it. You'll appreciate it more." People laughed. My chest tightened. I stood frozen as Laura handed my gift to someone else. Not privately, not quietly. Publicly. Like it meant nothing. My son stood beside her. He said nothing. I felt invisible. No one defended me. No one questioned her. I sat down slowly, hands shaking. That's when I realized this wasn't about a gift. It was about power, and she wanted everyone to see where I stood. I didn't say a word. I smiled. I clapped when expected. I congratulated her like nothing happened. Inside, something cracked. After the cake was cut and the photos were taken, Laura came over to me. "Did you enjoy the party?" she asked, sweet as honey. "Yes," I said softly. She tilted her head. "You're quiet today." "I'm just tired." She smiled again, the same smile she used when she took my gift. That night, I couldn't sleep. I replayed every moment, every look, every silence. This wasn't the first time Laura had pushed me aside. She controlled family gatherings. She decided who sat where. She corrected me when I spoke. And my son. He let her. I opened my laptop. I logged into my legal documents, the will. Everything was still the same. My son was the main beneficiary. Laura would control most decisions if anything happened to me. That night, I understood something clearly. If I stayed silent, this would only get worse. But I wasn't angry. I was calm, and calm people make the most dangerous decisions. I didn't confront her. I didn't call my son. Instead, I scheduled an appointment with my lawyer. The very next morning, my lawyer, Daniel, had known me for years. He listened quietly as I explained everything. He didn't interrupt. When I finished, he asked one simple question. "Do you feel respected in this family?" I didn't hesitate. "No." He nodded. "Then it's time your will reflects your reality." We reviewed everything line by line. I didn't remove my son, but I changed control. I changed conditions. I added clauses, very specific ones. Laura would no longer have authority over anything tied to my assets. No access, no decisions. Funds would be placed in trust. For my grandchild, managed by a third party. With strict instructions. Daniel looked at me. Are you sure? Yes. That night, I slept peacefully for the first time in weeks. 2 weeks later, my son came over. He looked uncomfortable. Mom? Laura says you've been distant. I smiled. I've been busy. He hesitated. She also mentioned the gift. I waited. She didn't realize it meant so much to you. I nodded. I understand. He relaxed. That's when I knew she never told him the truth. Monse passed. The baby was born. I visited. I brought simple gifts. Nothing extravagant. Laura was polite, cautious. Years later, when I passed peacefully in my sleep, the will was read. Laura expected control. She expected authority. She expected silence. Instead, she received a legal document that reflected every moment she thought no one noticed. The room was quiet, and for the first time, I didn't have to say a word. I didn't say anything that night. After the baby shower ended, after the guests left, after the balloons deflated and the laughter faded, I went home alone. I replayed the moment over and over in my head. The way she lifted the gift, the way she smiled, the way she said, "Oh, we already have too many of these," and handed it to someone else, like it meant nothing. My son stood there. He saw it. He heard it, and he said nothing. That silence hurt more than the gesture itself. The next morning, I woke up with a calm I hadn't felt in years. Not anger, not sadness. Clarity. I made coffee, sat at the kitchen table, and opened my notebook. The same one I used to keep important documents listed. Wills, insurance, emergency contacts. I had always believed that love didn't need leverage. That family didn't need conditions. I was wrong. I called my lawyer and asked for an appointment. He asked if everything was okay. I said yes, and I meant it. When I arrived, he noticed something immediately. "You seem different," he said. "I am," I replied. We went through the documents slowly. Names, percentages, trusts, conditions. I didn't remove anyone completely. That would have been too loud. Too emotional. Instead, I changed the structure. Everything was still fair. Just earned. I added clauses. Education clauses. Respect clauses. Presence clauses. No one would receive anything automatically anymore. When I left the office, I didn't feel victorious. I felt settled. Weeks passed. 10 months. 10 months. The baby was born and sent a card. I visited once. I smiled. I held the baby. I brought simple gifts, nothing extravagant, nothing symbolic. I watched carefully, and then something unexpected happened. My daughter-in-law started calling. At first, it was small things. Advice, recipes, questions about the baby. Then it turned into something else. Requests, help, support. She complained about exhaustion, about finances, about how hard motherhood was. One afternoon, she said, "I don't know how we'd survive without family." I almost laughed. "Instead," I said gently, "family is built on respect." She paused. "What do you mean?" I said calmly, "that how we treat each other matters, especially when people are watching." She didn't respond. That night, my son called. He sounded nervous. "Mom, is everything okay?" "Yes," I said. "Why wouldn't it be?" He hesitated. "It's just, things feel different." "They are," I replied. "That's not always a bad thing." Silence again. But this time, it wasn't mine. A year later, they invited me to a small family gathering. No occasion. Just dinner. I knew something was coming. You don't get sudden warmth without a reason. Halfway through the meal, my daughter-in-law reached for my hand. Her voice soft. "We've been meaning to say, We're sorry if we ever made you feel unappreciated. My son nodded. Yeah, Mom. We didn't realize how much you've done. I looked at both of them. Their eyes were sincere, or at least practiced. I appreciate that, I said, and I meant it. Growth matters. Then she added, casually, you know, we've been thinking a lot about the future. About security. About the baby. There it was. I smiled. I've thought about that too. Their posture changed instantly. I made sure everything is taken care of, I continued, in a way that reflects who shows up, who stays connected, and who understands what family actually means. My son frowned slightly. What does that mean? It means, I said softly, that nothing is assumed anymore. Everything is intentional. They didn't push further. They didn't need to. Months later, my lawyer called. Just letting you know, he said. Your updated structure is complete. Everything is legally airtight. Good, I replied. A few weeks after that, my daughter-in-law posted photos online. A new stroller, a renovated kitchen, a caption about gratitude and blessings. People commented hearts and congratulations. I closed the app. What they never knew and never needed to know was that the biggest gift I gave that night wasn't he taken away? It was delayed. Because respect returned slowly. Effort returned gradually. Presence became consistent. And when people finally learn the value of something without knowing it's tied to a reward, that's when it's real. The will remains sealed. The conditions remain quiet. And for the first time in my life, I know that whatever they receive in the future, they will have truly earned